Rochester Winter Parafest is back, March 25th, 26th, and 27th of 2022. Come say hi to Naked and Afraid celebrities Melanie Elizabeth and Trent Nielsen, Haunted Case Files Jack Kenna, Monster Quest Steve Coles, and more. This event has it all: paranormal investigators, UFO researchers, Bigfoot researchers, and even photo opportunities for the kids with Buddy the Bigfoot. Oh, okay, adults too. Come on down and get a tattoo from Ink Master Tony DeVille. There are psychic gallery and individual readings, as well as radio personalities, authors, jewelry, makeup artists, and so much more. It's only $15 per person, and children under 10 are free. March 25th, 26th, and 27th of 2022. For more information, go to WLFE-DB.com. Yes, Winter Parafest is back. Valley Oak Event Center, Geneseo, New York, next to Denny's. Welcome to Modern Femme-ily with your host and resident lesbian, Cassie. Join her and our resident LGBTQIA plus ally, Molly, as they talk to women of all walks of life to discuss everyday matters of a woman's world. Join these lovely beauties every Friday at 8 p.m. to talk about hot topics, sensitive topics, but most of all, the real topics.
Hello, everybody. Oh my God, it's our debut. I'm so excited. So welcome to Modern Femme-ily with WLFE-DB Radio. We are so excited to be here. You have no idea. I want to welcome all of the awesome humans that have joined us tonight. We may be a show all about women from a women's point of view, but we don't discriminate. We allow everybody to come and hang out with us for an hour. I do want to let everybody know we are an adult show. We may touch on hot topics, sensitive topics. I may look like a lady, but I can't always control my mouth. So you'll have to forgive me if I drop an F-bomb or any of those other, four-letter words that seem to always be my favorite. But want to give you a warning now is your chance. You can lock up those kiddos in the bathroom, or better yet, you could lock yourself in the bathroom, grab a nice little drinky poo, and join us for an hour of girl talk. So you're going to get to know us tonight. I'm going to start with myself. My name is Cassie. I am your resident lesbian and your host for the evening. I am located in North Central Pennsylvania, also known as the middle of freaking nowhere. Seriously, where I grew up here, there are more cows than people. Not even kidding. One stoplight, whole county. Not even kidding. One high school, one elementary school in the whole county. So it's pretty safe to say there are not many of my kind where I live, but that's okay. We're going to discuss that as well. Not tonight. You're just going to kind of get to know my lovely co-host and I tonight while we chat a little bit. But also, I want to say happy Pride Month. I have on my Pride gear because love is love. My eyes are all morphed out with Pride colors. I have my Pride earrings on. I pull on all the stops. It's Pride Month. I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. So, but that's enough about me. I want to bring on my lovely co-host. I have known her for many years. She was introduced to me from my aunt. So I'm going to bring her on so she can introduce herself, and then we'll get into just girl talk and chit chat. Are you ready, Molly?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. All right. Here she is. Come on out, Molly.
Hello. Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous. However, you prepared a speech and I did not. So like
girl, that was all on the fly. I swear. All on the fly.
So like your wedding reception,
Yeah.
I had a speech, but it went away. So I'm going to go ahead and do it again. Hi, I'm Molly. I've been living like 10 years now, but I'm originally from Oregon. That's my home state. That is where I call home. I loved growing up there. diverse background in the sense that I rodeoed, right? So crazy. So I was definitely like the black sheep of that, right? I've always been a little bit different, always thought a little bit different, but never really gave a shit. So here we are. I'm so excited to talk about just women things. I think that that's like subjects and things that don't get really talked about much. I think we're starting to, right? We're starting to open up about it, and I think that's so great.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. I think we have a lot to say, and that's me.
Yeah.
Hi.
So, Molly and I put a lot of thought into what we were going to do on our first episode. And, we thought, do we have guests come on? Do we just chat? I mean, Molly and I, we FaceTime all the time.
Yeah.
So literally we've been preparing for this for years.
Yeah.
Well, not years, but with COVID, we couldn't see each other. So I'd be working, she'd be working, and we'd be FaceTiming, So now we work together. That's allowed.
Yeah.
So we talk about things about work, but friend conversation may come back into play. So we've been preparing for this for a long time. I think it's safe to say.
I think so too. I think we've had a lot of conversations about it. We've done, we've lived through it, right? We've lived through all of these issues or lived through them, right? And I'm really excited to have a voice,
For sure.
And I think that's so excited. I think we can use this, and I'm like excited,
Seriously, it's super exciting. And like, I love all of the shows on the WLFE-TV radio network. For me to have somewhere that's inclusive with the LGBTQIA plus community, you don't find that a lot, unfortunately.
Right.
That's a generalized network.
Right. Okay.
So to have a safe space network, that, we can talk about the difference. We're both females, but from my point of view as being a lesbian and your point of view as being a straight woman,
right?
We can talk about things that wouldn't normally get talked about,
so.
And I love all the shows, but they didn't really have anything from a woman's point of view, woman's perspective. So I mentioned it to a friend who was on a show, and they mentioned it to another friend who was on the show. And I got a text message, and a couple hours later, I was linked up and it started rolling. And, I am so excited to have a show where we can talk about everything from children, fur babies, hot topics of things that are going on in the government right now.
Oh my gosh,
and that affect, women, not everybody, just women. Excuse me. And it's exciting, and we're here, and we're loud, and Molly and I are both very outspoken people.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I know. Well, I was literally thinking, like, when you were telling the story of like how this came about, I thought it was really funny because literally one of those FaceTime calls we were on during, the job. We talked about the job, and then we talked about it.
It's mostly work, I promise. Yeah. It really is.
She goes, I'm really excited. I reached out and I did this, and and this is the show I'm having. And how about I like steamrolled? And I was like, do you need a co-host? Like, I
was like, yeah, absolutely.
I was like, a guest that never leaves. That could be me.
And
so
it's perfect because honestly, I grew up I was a military brat for the first few years of my life. So, I don't remember that. But we moved back to Pennsylvania because that's where my family was. And my dad wanted to raise me with family. And, my mom's side of the family, my dad's side of the family, we lived less than an hour from each other. And most of them were all country back roads. So it didn't take long.
Yeah.
So I have the East Coast point of view, and Molly, you have the West Coast, which is completely different.
Culture shock, people. It was insane in the sense of like, I grew up in Oregon. Like, I love Oregon. It has my heart. I love Pennsylvania. The friends I've made here. I love my friends in Oregon too. But like, it's just everything. When I moved, it was completely different, right? My friends were gone. I had the support system that was not there anymore. It was really scary, but the welcoming arms that I received, the friends that I met has made this journey the best. But culture shock for sure. The food is different. We all speak a little bit differently. I mean, I speak like I now have the lingo, because when I go home, everybody's like, "Oh, what are you saying?" I'm like,
right, how
you
long
were in
have
PA,
you been
you would know. So and we grew up. I mean, I grew up on 47 acres of hill, right? And we would walk up the back 40 to go get the horses, and we would take 4-minute showers in the summertime because we had springs.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I wouldn't change it for the world. It was great. You know, it was an amazing experience. I had a great childhood. I rodeoed. It was so much fun. So yeah, I think we have a very different perspective. I mean, I think everybody does, right? We all have our own experiences, so we're all gonna see and view the world just a little bit different than somebody else. So I think that, you know, the more perspectives we have, the better off we're gonna be, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, with June being Pride Month, you know, this weekend, my wife and I are actually going to be in Gettysburg for a Pride event. Molly was supposed to be with us, but she had an unfortunate event happen. You want to discuss it? You can.
Yeah.
She is okay, as you can see. She is fine.
Yeah.
But it caused her to not be able to go, unfortunately. So, but we're going to a Pride event, and we're going to vlog the experience. You know, so we can talk to people, and we're gonna celebrate, and we're gonna celebrate that with everybody here. You know, this is our first show, so it was just kind of a kickoff to get to know us. You know, hopefully you love us. You know, we love you.
Well, and I think they need to get to know us to like understand our humor too.
Yes,
because I make a lot of sarcastic jokes, and if you don't actually really know me or like have an essence of me, you're like, bitch, what?
Right? She's a bitch,
right? And I'm like, I'm not. I promise. It was you.
Right. Real quick, we've got some comments. I'm still learning all of this, so I will figure out how to pop them up on the screen. But Reese, who is my wife and watching from the other side of the house, as I kicked her out of the living room, so there was, you know, no feedback, said Happy Pride. Yes, Happy Pride. We're so excited. And Genevieve says hello, Genevieve. Thank you for watching. And Ted, thank you so much for tuning in. You are the reason that we are here. So
thank you.
All the gratitude goes to you.
Absolutely.
We are huge fans, and we're so excited to be doing this with you. You are amazing.
Right.
So yeah, we're just excited to go on this journey. And I was saying earlier, sorry, I got sidetracked. It happens a lot. My squirrel doesn't run on his hamster all the time, or on his hamster wheel, as you can see.
Again, hot mess, right? This is what's so great about what I feel like we're gonna bring into the show is like we look fancy, right? We look real good and like put together. Like look at our backdrops, right? They're so nice. If you saw my desk, however,
or the other side of my room where you can't see,
hot mess. So we welcome that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
The lights that fall down in the middle of the shows, right? We welcome those.
Right. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So I'm getting ready and I'm talking with Molly before the show. And my wife is standing on an end table behind me.
Yes.
Putting up my backdrop. She had a reason for not being home. She had to take her father's new puppy to the vet. He's okay. Just a little checkup. He's like, 16 weeks old now. He's so stinking cute.
So cute.
But so she came home and I went, I need your help.
Right.
There's no way. Because if I get up there, I'll be telling Molly, girl, you're on your own tonight.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine just this dialoguing the whole time?
Beautifulness.
Right. What's funny is I probably could fill up the entire hour, but I would have no listeners because I just randomly, and they'd be like, I'm a little lost.
Don't worry, because so are we.
Right? I know. And that's what, you know, we were saying is we want to show that, right? We want to show
that we're real.
Right? The feminine, the realistic of it, the realities, and the expectations, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so high sometimes.
Well,
and like,
To touch on that real quick, Molly.
Mhm.
So we were given, I don't want to say a demand, but a gauntlet was thrown by one of the queens that I have known since I was 18 years old from inside the drag closet.
Okay.
And she said, I want beat faces tonight.
Oh, yes.
All right, Amethyst.
Thank you.
You got some beatness going on here from both of us, but let's be real.
Yes.
Because this isn't going to happen every week.
No. Oh my God. I know. That's the funny thing, right? So we've been talking about this show for however long now, right? We're getting ready for it. We're preparing for it. And like going into today, I was going to wear just like minimal, like face makeup, just kind of like what I do on like a normal day until I get a call and Cassie says, what is expected? Gotta clear my calendar now. You know how long this masterpiece takes?
And not to mention, we're just coming out of hibernation from COVID.
Thank you.
So I may have all this makeup stuff that I bought while we were locked in our houses and I was bored because we had nothing else to do. But I'm looking at it going, what do I do with that?
I know.
What's that for?
Well, and I forgot how long it takes. And my hair is different from pre-COVID, right? It's long. It's the longest it's ever been. If anybody knows me that's watching, you know that like I've had shaved heads before. Heads, I only have one. Shaved head.
Hot mess right there. See?
Yeah,
Hot mess.
you know?
Full example.
Hot Express. I have one head. I shaved my sides. Electric blue. I've had crazy hair, but this is literally the longest that I've ever had it. It goes in a ponytail, right? I don't style it. It's a mop. Like, it's so much hair that I'm like, it's too much. And I'm like, styling it. It's coming out to here. Like, it's so long. Like,
You can't even see it on camera.
I know,
Like,
it's not even
that
on
long.
Oh, and it's just different, right? It's different having longer hair. I'm hot all the time. But I mean, who is it?
And I feel really bad, everybody. So my AC has been broken. My central air has been broken since not the very, very beginning of last summer. So like spring, it broke. And that's a story for a whole nother episode. And we're actually going to have an episode about that.
Yeah.
And more. But we finally found a company who was able to fix it for us. They're actually going to replace it. Well, here in Pennsylvania, it is going to be 90 plus degrees starting tomorrow through next week. So we called the people that are going to do it and we said, look, we can hack it, but we have a dog who has an autoimmune disease. And I'm going to touch on him a little bit later when we talk about our weddings because
he's part of the story.
He is part of the story. He's a huge part of the story and a huge pain in my ass. Oh, I love him, but
aren't all dogs though? I love them. They're my favorite, but they're a pain.
Right. But they came out and they were able to get my unit working so they can replace it on next Thursday, which is awesome. I'm super thankful. My legs are cold because I've been in shorts all day and now the AC is blowing on me and I'm like, ooh, it's cold in here. So Molly and I are talking about this earlier and she said,
I was gonna say, I make this face because
she says,
go ahead. Yeah.
Nope, go ahead.
So long story short, Monday there was a fire in our downstairs apartment below us. We're fine. Everything is fine for us. Unfortunately, our neighbors are kind of displaced right now, but it's getting fixed. Everything's like up and up. But so that was hectic, right? So we were displaced for 2 days. We had dogs. We had to find a place to get that would allow us to take the dogs, and we didn't know what damage was caused because we just had to get out, right? Everything's fine. We're back in the house. I'm getting ready. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so hot in here. Doesn't my AC kick the bucket? And I think it's because of the fire. And I'm sitting here getting ready. And I'm like, why is it so hot? And Cassie's like, oh, my legs are so nice and cool. You gave me your broken air conditioner problems.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so legit, I'm like sitting here with a fan trying like not to,
Well, and then God love her. She says, "Is it muggy outside?" And I went, "Don't open the window."
I know. Like, opening the window would be like the solution to all of my problems.
So yeah, I feel really bad. But Molly is not used to having her hair down. And you know, total full beat. And I mean, neither am I.
It's like a like it's a mask. I like the mask.
Peel it off at the end of the
But it's like heavy, heavy. I forgot how heavy it is, but it's not. It's like, I got some good makeup stuff that's like super light, but it feels heavy because I haven't worn it in forever.
Yeah. Yep. Just a few shout outs. So Ted says that dogs are like men, a pain in the arse. I don't have that problem anymore. Just the dogs. Molly, you can attest to that.
Yeah, both.
You have both. You have a fiance and you have 2 dogs.
Yeah, for real. And one of them's crazy. We'll get into that. She's crazy.
Yeah. My Trudy Taylor, who is my aunt and actually who introduced me to Molly,
yes,
says, her. "Hey girls, it's Aunt Trudy and Mom watching together." So hi Mom, hi Aunt Trudy.
Hi.
Love you. Thanks for tuning into our first show.
Yes.
And Alacia. I think I'm saying that right. I never say her name right. I literally just messaged her and said, "How do you say your name?"
I know.
Dear friend, love her to death. Can never say her name right.
Love
ever.
Her. Well, to be fair though, I feel like names are a little. I have issues with names in the sense of remembering them.
Me too. I can remember a face.
Yes. Faces. I don't remember. I sometimes forget Charlie's name, which is my fiance. If you guys know, hello, shout out. I sometimes forget it. Like when I'm like thinking about his name, like, oh, what's his name? Charlie.
I've been witness to that. What's my fiance's name? Charlie.
I love him dearly. I promise.
He is a great, great dude. He puts up with our craziness together. So,
well, as you guys will come to know, I'm beautifully crazy.
And I said she's our LGBTQIA ally and a resident hot mess.
For real.
But it's okay.
Yeah, I know. That's okay.
Nothing but love here. Literally, we do not discriminate. We do not judge. We love absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
And Alicia says, "That's right, but I'm driving. I love you guys. See you later." Yes, do not watch Facebook Live and drive.
Yeah. I just, like, I kind of say, like, I feel like we should not have, like, don't do that. Why are you doing that?
Girl, I know where you live. Don't do that. Don't make me call your mama. Because my mama and my aunt are watching them. They have no problem being like, "Girl, don't do that."
Right? Don't you? I love those, like, types of people who, like, come into your life like an aunt and like they're not your aunt, like they're a friend, like Aunt Trudy, right? Like they come into your life and they become that. I love that.
Yep.
I don't know why I just thought that, but I did. Probably because you said like your aunt and your mom would go and like I'm like, and that's so true because they would do that same for me.
They would. Like, I'm pretty sure at my wedding they probably yelled at you a few times because I was sober, unfortunately, at my wedding. Molly was not, which is fine. We paid for the open bar for a reason. However, we were just so busy, we didn't have a chance to enjoy it. But our friends did.
It was so much. Let's talk about that for like a hot second. That reception was so much fun. So much fun. I was inebriated. As you know, bridesmaids and co-maid of honor.
So you were a co-maid of honor. You were not just a bridesmaid.
I was speech, people. So of course I drank a lot. And
she didn't even get 3 words in and she cried.
Oh yeah, I cry all the time. So best believe there will be tears on this show from my eyes and probably snot from my nose too. Because let's be honest, I'm an ugly cry. Like it's not that solitary tear that comes out. Red nose, that's what happens when I cry.
Real quick, I want to interject because Valerie Snyder just says, "Ashley and I are watching and forgot how much we miss you goofballs." Well, you can see us every Friday at 8 p.m. from 8 to 9 on Modern Femme-ily and WLFE-DB radio networks. That's going to take me a minute to get used to. I have so many acronyms for work.
Thank you.
But I'm sure I'll get it. Don't worry, Ted. I got you. I'll get it. But the food was the last thing I got to enjoy at the wedding. This is true because we had like some of everything. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as we were done eating, it was like, go, 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 go.
Yeah.
So, but real quick before we hop into our wedding talk, because that's going to be the second half of our show, talking about
the hot mess. I think you told me that.
I did. This is real life, people. I swear. But we are going to pop into a commercial break. And then we are going to come back and we're going to hop into the wedding. I'm going to tell you about our fairy tale wedding. And you will understand that when I tell you the events that led up to said wedding and then the events that took place after said wedding. And then Molly is going to tell us about her wedding plans and how that's going. So, all right, everybody, we will be right back.
WLFE Digital Network is now on digital television. If you're into ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs, and the creepy, then WLFE has a TV channel for you, Paranormal View. Watch all of your favorite WLFE video talk shows on one channel. Shows like Paratalk Radio, Step Into the Paranormal, Skeptical Help Bar, The Creepy Parlor, and more. Looking for something else? Do you support the LGBTQ plus community? WLFE has brought all of their LGBTQ shows like Inside the Drag Closet, Everything Yet Nothing, Across the Pond, and Rainbow Soul all into one place. A new TV channel called LGBTQ Friends. The third channel is Variety Unlimited. Here you'll find a wide variety of talk shows you know and love, like Just Cindy, Card Pulls and Coffee, Real Talk with Dom, The Bipolar DMs, Meet the Author, and Movie Review 5. The best part of watching these shows is that they're all available to watch at one location, one website, WLFE-DB.com.
You are listening to WLFE-DBradio.com, where our shows are your shows.
Listen to the WLFE-DB podcast, available on Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Check out shows like Paratalk Radio, Inside the Drag Closet, and Step Into the Paranormal. Now, on to your favorite podcast app.
This is Dominic Santasero with Real Talk with Dom. You are listening to WLFE-DBradio.com, where our shows are your shows.
Hey guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Brie, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area, 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
Oh, yeah. Life just got sweeter now that WLFE-DB has merchandise. Show your support by purchasing your t-shirts for WLFE, Paratalk Radio, Inside the Drag Closet, and more. But it doesn't stop there. T-shirts, coffee mugs, tanks, buttons, cloth bags, and more. Go to WLFE-DB.com. On the top bar, click on the merchandise tab and bam, there you go. You got merch. Support the shows. WLFE-DB.com. You're listening to WLFE-DB Radio. Now, back to our program.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hope everybody refresh their drinks because I did.
I was just going to say, Molly, did you get a refreshing beverage on the break? Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Awesome. So real quick before we hop into our wedding talk, you can see, you can find all of our hot mess right there. Hot mess. Our socials are all Modern Femme-ily. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all under the same name. I'm hoping to get a TikTok account put up for us because we're both kind of addicted to TikTok.
Oh, but I never post.
Well, girl,
But
you're
I'm going
post
to
it.
now.
She's gonna be our main event on TikTok.
So excited.
But you can also find us. You can check us out at WLFE-DB.com and Facebook.com/WLFE-DB Radio. So you can find us there. If you go on the website, all of our shows are listed on the main page. There is an LGBTQ and Friends channel. We're on there as well. So you can find us there. And please check out the other shows. I'm telling you, these shows are amazing. This network is amazing. So check everything out, poke around, have a little fun. You can also find our vodcast where podcasts can be found as well afterwards. So you can go back and listen to us ramble and see how many times, I don't know, count the F-bombs that we drop.
Yeah.
Or that'll be like a hidden
Like a
game.
Drinking game.
Yeah, you can listen to one of our podcasts, and every time one of us says a 4-letter word, you can take a drink.
Bitch.
Or shit. Fuck.
No, like I still got time, girl. Like, what are you trying to do to me?
We have a half hour. How drunk can we get in a half hour? I mean, I got a bottle of champagne that's chilling in the fridge that sadly I've had since New Year's.
What?
But I don't really drink.
I mean,
But I figured tonight was a special occasion.
I drink all the time.
We took up different hobbies during COVID.
Yeah. No, I did try yoga during COVID though. So
You did.
I did.
Which was awesome.
And I love it. So
I just binge watch TV shows.
Oh, that too. Documentaries.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I love it.
Yep. So yeah, different hobbies during COVID. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, so I'm gonna dive in to
Absolutely.
my wedding real quick. Make this as quick as possible so I can dive into hers as well. So my wife and I got married. We just celebrated our 2-year wedding anniversary on the 1st.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I got distracted. Thank you, Patricia. I'm so glad you're enjoying the show. Yay!
Yay!
So Reese and I dated when I was much, much younger and she was much, much younger. It was a short-lived whirlwind romance, but she was my first girlfriend. And we went our separate ways. And then 5 or so years later, we came back into one another's lives and we dated briefly and then we parted ways. And then 4 years ago, I don't know. Time flies when you're having fun.
Legit.
We came back into each other's lives. I was in a really, really bad place in my life. And I found out through a mutual friend that she was not in a very good place in hers either. And we just needed a friend. We needed somebody who knew each other better than we knew ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just needed that person.
Right.
And I sent her a message and I didn't expect a response back. We hadn't talked for 5 years. So I was like, it's worth a shot. I'll give it a chance. And she messaged me back shortly thereafter. And I made it very clear that my intentions were for friendship.
Right.
And, well, we see where that led us.
Right. With the that whole experience, and I love it and cherish it.
Right. Because Molly was one of the people that I discussed that with. I was like, I just want to be friends. And she has made her intentions clear that she wants more. And, well, I ended up falling back in love with her. And a year later or so, she popped the question. And then another year later, we got married. But about 2 months prior to they very much suck. Relationships, that is, they suck. They can, absolutely. About 2 months prior to us finally tying the knot and making it official, our dog, who is a very loved and cherished pit bull, got very, very, very sick and very, very, very quickly. We didn't think he was going to make it. We really didn't. And he is our fur baby. He is our world. We have 3 cats as well. Cats are assholes. Love them to death. My cats specifically are assholes. And Rex is our fur boy. You know, he's our kid. So we did everything in our power that we could. We have an amazing vet here in North Central Pennsylvania who never once even batted an eye. You know, she had only seen one case of what he has, and I'll tell you that here in a second, prior to his case. In that dog did not, his story did not end like Rex's, unfortunately.
Right.
Because Rex was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. It's a long Latin name, so I'm just going to give you the abbreviation for it. It's MG. I'm sure the wife will pop in and say what it's called in the comments.
Right.
And he was also diagnosed with ME, which is megaesophagus. So he couldn't walk, and that's how the vet tech found him the weekend after he was making leaps and bounds of progress. Found him in his pen. He could not walk. She crawled in his pen and just held him and cried. And again, thanks, honey. Again, we didn't think he was going to make it. And we prepared for the worst. And, you know, honestly, talked about postponing the wedding because he was our boy.
That. Yeah, I remember that.
You know, it was a very, very hard time. And luckily, about $5,000 later, between surgeries and vet stays and special medication and special food, he pulled through. And he got stronger every single day. And he went from about 40, 45 pounds back to his about 65, 70 pounds. Over a very long period of time, and lots of special food and hand feeding, to the point where when Reese decided to give him regular food, he didn't eat it.
Yeah.
He didn't want it. And she calls me frantic. I think he's sick again. He's not eating. No, he got spoiled.
Right.
He didn't want the dry food. He wanted the fancy special wet food.
Where's my fancy feast?
Right, exactly. Where's my fancy feast at? So he ended up at the wedding. Luckily, we got married. My father is no longer with us, and he was the chief of a fire company when he passed. And I was lucky enough to be able to rent their social hall in their land, and that's where we got married. There, next to our sweetheart table, was a picture and plaque of my dad. So like, we knew he was there, and that's where we wanted to get married.
Absolutely.
And because most of my family is still in that fire company, it is a volunteer station, I was able to take Rex, or we rather were able to take Rex with us. And a very good friend of ours was his security that day. It was his babysitter.
Yes, I remember that.
But she didn't know how to feed him, and she comes to us and asks us all these questions, and we're like, just move, we'll do it. So here, you know, we are. My wife is in a custom, one-of-a-kind, handmade tux with her grandmother's wedding dress incorporated.
I was gonna say, wasn't it made out of something like special like that? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And I am in you saw some of the pictures in the intro. I am in a poofy ivory ball gown.
Yes, it's so pretty though.
That, let's just say, we were taking pictures outside. We got married on the back property of the fire station, and it was just a wide open field with beautiful purple flowers in the background. But my dress became a bug net.
Yes. Oh, I remember that. That, like, the first layer. That's right.
Yeah, because there were layered pieces of my dress.
Yes.
And between Molly and a couple other of my, you know, bridesmaids, maid of honor, or my bride man,
yeah.
I don't know what he would be considered. Bridesmaids fitting though.
Right.
But they spent so many like minutes of us trying to get all these bugs out, and I was just like, guys, it is the 1st of June. It is 90 degrees out here. I am sweating, and I don't typically sweat. I turn beet red.
Yes. No.
And Molly looks at me and goes, "Are you sweating?"
I know. Thank you. Because I'm the friend that sweats, right? I leak buckets. I'm proud of it. I don't care. I always have. Doesn't matter what size or whatever. Like, I just do. My family does. So come to terms with it finally, right? So I'm at this wedding. I'm in this black dress, gorgeous, right? We're having so much fun. I drank a little in the morning. We all know that. So
we all did.
Right. Somebody like made me take some shots. I don't know what happened. Right. So I have this dress on. I'm feeling myself, right? And at that point, I was still kind of insecure. So I had Spanx on, and I was like tight as a sausage. And I'm hot. And at that point, in my level of body confidence, there comes a point where I don't care anymore because it's so hot. I remember walking up the hill to the reception. I had my dress over my head.
I
because
remember
had
that.
Spanx on, and I just needed everything to breathe for like a hot second. Like breathe air in there. I was so hot. And I remember looking back and I'm like, you're sweating. I told you it's hot. Like,
Right. So I'm like, so where we got ready was a family member's house in that area. And I wanted to have mimosas by the pool and hang out. Well, that it didn't end up happening because it was a crazy whirlwind morning.
Yeah.
I can say I did not cry at all that day. Someone else cannot say that. She was the crier that day, but it's all good. But I was like, who wants to go back to the pool? Like, can we do that? Can we just skip this for a hot minute and go back to the pool? I'm hot.
it was so hot.
But
It was so much fun though.
Yeah.
Much fun. And what was really great was, again, because your family like just engulfed my sister and I. Like, she was at the wedding. At that point, like, we don't have family here. I have no family here. I mean, my friends are my family, but I don't have any like blood like family, right? They're all in like, across the pond. Just kidding, they're just across country. So we got invited. Of course, like, I was in her wedding. We're really good friends. So, but they invited Morgan too, and it was her birthday, and they did a little something.
it was.
We had the best time. Like, there was Jello shots. Shout out for that. That was so good.
There were rummy bears.
That's right. That's what they were. See, I kind of forgot, but yeah, I remember.
I mean, they're basically the same thing. I'm pretty sure my cousin served them in like the little plastic Jello shot cups.
Well, at that point, when I was getting them, I was tipping.
I mean, my family likes to drink. I have some people in my family that know how to party and do it right.
And know how to. Nothing's worse going to a reception where it's been long, right? Not like it's long and nobody's dancing and the music's been going. Get up, let's start dancing, have some fun. Like,
we didn't have that problem.
Not at all. Everybody was dancing. It was so much fun. Morgan and I did like the Piano Man. Like,
oh, we'll have to. I have that on video. We'll have to put that on someday.
Yeah, it was so much fun. So much fun. The ceremony was amazing. Go ahead and talk. I've said all of my side of your life.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say, Aunt Trudy says you are family, Molly, which she is 100% right. And Valerie says Molly's Proud Mary routine was epic.
I thank you, Val, because I kind of forgot that, and I shouldn't, because it was epic.
It was epic. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But so long story short, because of our dog and him being, our child, we cut back on a lot. And I will give a huge shout out to my mother-in-law. My mom did everything here that she could while working a full-time job and dealing with other things, that when my mother-in-law came in, Reese and I were like, it's yours. I just want to show up and get married, and I don't care what else happens. Like, will there be food? Will there be alcohol? And will we get a marriage license? Like, we don't care.
At this point,
she came in and was like, I got this. So between her and my mom, they were true rock stars, because with the dog and everything else, we were just exhausted. And then, so we get married. Everything is great. My wife's brother is in from Canada. That's where he lives with his wife and children. He was a hot mess express that night. Pretty sure his tie was around his head on several occasions.
Yes.
But love you, Matt.
Right.
But we get home, we pass out, we hang out with my wife's family the next day, because they were all heading back out of state. That's where they lived. Sorry, I just got distracted. Reset and the kitchen crew. So she really liked the food.
Yes.
that was my dad's mother, and my dad's side of the family. They made everything for our wedding. They catered everything. And my mother-in-law made her family's macaroni and cheese. And I'm pretty sure that was gone within like the first round of food.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, our food, they say things you remember at a wedding: the food, the music, and that's pretty much it. And we had great for both. So, but so we go 2 days later to send Matt back to Canada, and his flight got delayed, oddly. And we get a phone call that morning that Reese's dad has been rushed to the emergency room, and they think he's having another heart attack. And of course, like, Matt's here from Canada. He doesn't really have a cell phone that works. So he's got like his dad's old cell phone or some crazy scenario.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a car, and we live 20 minutes from where he is. Luckily, it's highway. We were safe, but we did get there quickly. And they took him by ambulance. And sure enough, he had his, I believe it was his 4th heart attack. They ended up doing triple bypass. And it was just, luckily, Reese hadn't started her new job. She was in between jobs, so she didn't start for another week. I had taken 2 weeks of vacation when we got married, so I had time off. And we spent all of that time after our wedding, which should have been our honeymoon period. Thank goodness we didn't plan an actual honeymoon directly after the wedding.
Right. Yeah.
It'd have been horrible. But we spent all that time, and most of the next year in and out of the hospital. He is fine. Like I said earlier, he has I was corrected, a 14-week-old puppy. Yeah. So he is fine and doing well. He lived with us for a little while. That's another story. Love you, Pop. But yeah, so our fairy tale wedding was great, and we loved every second of the actual wedding and the day of the wedding. But before and after was hell, man. Like,
right,
getting there and recovering was a whole different story. So, Molly, I'm gonna give you this advice.
Well, yeah.
I hope and pray that you guys don't have any hiccups, because you're what, like 90 days?
Yeah, you had to tell me that today.
You're welcome.
Literally getting ready, and she looks at the day, or she says, we're talking about like points in like Vegas and blah blah blah. And she's like, yeah, in like 90 days we'll be in Vegas. What? I don't even.
Right. I may be a bridesmaid, but I didn't realize I was the wedding planner.
I mean, you're everything. Everybody that surrounds me is everything. You have to make sure that I remember my dresses. Like I remember, like, you know.
I got you. It's a good thing I'm flying in after you, because if you forget anything, I can bring it.
I know. Well, yeah. So yeah, you know, that's the experience that I want, right? When I was 16, wanted this huge, grandiose wedding, right? And thought like it was going to be cheap. Oh man, does life hit you, right? When you become an adult and realize how much things cost. And you're like, I need a centerpiece for $75.
Right. It's a vase with rocks in it. What do you...
Thank you. And so I met this, Charlie is my fiance. I refer to him as my partner. One, because it creeps people out and I love it. I mean, like, they don't know what to say. They're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm like, no, it's my partner. It's my life partner.
Right.
And so we were set up on a blind date type of a thing. It was a blind meet and greet. It was through a mutual friend. I give her all kudos. She's the reason why we're together, because she tried for such a long time.
She did.
Such a long time to meet him, and I was hung up on this other person. Not that he even knew I existed. I mean,
his love.
But right. So I was just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Finally, my persistence paid off, and I went. I was so nervous, and I drove around the block, even though it was like a meet and greet, like a meeting with like friends. Like I knew everybody else but him.
Right, because correct me if I'm wrong, it was at a local bar. Like,
yes.
Bar restaurant. Okay.
Yes, it was a local bar. We all met up for like a game night type thing that they were having there. And I remember going in, sitting down, and Charlie doesn't even talk to me. And he knew, like, I was there, like, for a meet, right?
I remember you telling me that afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't say a word to me.
And I tried to engage in conversation, and he was like, yes. And then, like, talk to his other people. And I was like, okay. And if anybody knows me, I'm not going to waste my time on men, especially. I was single for the longest time because I'm going to be sound conceited. Nobody made the mark, right? I'm not going to waste my time, right?
No,
So,
that's not conceited. I'm going to stop that. That is, you know your self-worth.
yeah. And it wasn't like, I wasn't going to put in the time if it wasn't worth it, right?
Right. Yep.
So at least I knew my self-worth at that, at least that much. And I'm glad for that. That was instilled in me as a young age. So during that time, I was like, you're wasting my time. I'm not going to be here. So I like kind of rush out, and they're like, oh, at that time, I like, smoke the rest. So
Bad habits.
Yeah, bad habits, don't do them. So we'll go outside. They're like, do you want to go out? And I was like, no, mine are in my car. I'm just going to go. And I just left. So the next day, or a couple days after, he messages me, and I was not going. He messaged me on Facebook. I wasn't going to answer it, but for some reason I did. We ended up going out to lunch, something like that, another date, whatever, I forget. But I love him. And here we are today. So planning the wedding started out very stressful because I'm originally from Oregon. All my family is from Oregon. My, original friends, OGs, are from there. But then Charlie's family is from here. So I was stressing. I had a lot of anxiety about it. I didn't want to disappoint someone. Yeah. Right? Having it here, my parents would have to come. Having it in Oregon, his parents will have to come. So I said, we're going to Vegas. Everybody's got to travel. And so
right?
I'm so excited for it. I chose a place where I can literally beat my face, get dressed, and show up. I didn't have to pick. It was so funny. They're like, what are your colors? I said, I don't have any.
Whatever you decide to put out that
Basically, day. I was like, if it's on the table, you can leave it. That's fine. I'll keep it. I was like, my bridesmaids are wearing black, so you can do that. And so we're getting married in Vegas. And then we're flying to Oregon. My parents are throwing us a reception there. I cannot wait because all of my family friends are going to be there, people I grew up with. So they get to meet Charlie and see just how wonderful he is and how perfect he is for me specifically. And my crazy ways. And it's been a very challenging experience, only because my expectations and my wants have changed even since I've been engaged.
I totally get that.
I booked a venue and was like, just kidding, I don't want to do that. So I booked a venue and we were going to have the reception there and the ceremony. And I'm like, why am I having, because then we're having a reception in PA as well for all my PA friends. Hey, family. Why am I having 3 receptions? Yeah. Come on. I'm extra.
But when we're in Vegas and can just go up and down the strip in our wedding attire, looking fierce, and celebrate the bride and groom.
Yeah, and I get to wear my dress 3 times. How many people can say that? Yeah.
I literally jumped out of mine when we got home, and it's been in the bag in the closet ever since. I'm dying to do a mud photo shoot with it. And so Mom, if you're still watching, you won't let me.
No.
But if I can be real, it does not fit me anymore. It is too big, so I think it would be a lot of fun.
Right.
Just saying.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. I paid way too much. And that's the thing. I paid for my wedding dress after I got it. I love it. I do. It's gonna work. It's the best. But
it's beautiful.
It is. It
is. I really like it.
Way too much for it though. So I'm like, this picture is gonna be worn more than once.
Right. You're gonna do it right. You're gonna do it right.
Yes. So that's my wedding plans. It's hasn't been as hectic as yours was, knock on wood.
Yeah, I honestly that could not have happened to 2 more easygoing people. Reese and I are so laid back, and I mean, I love you, honey, but I think it's because you have the memory of a gnat and you forget everything. And I had a conversation with Ted earlier. I said, I'm a roll with the punches kind of girl. I don't let things bother me, because if I do, I freak out. And that's never good for anybody. So I just let it go. Real quick, I'll give you an example of that. The fire truck that we rode in on it's a 1940 something, I think, old Han, and it's an open air fire truck. It has wooden brakes. So any amount of rain, it's done. You cannot use it.
Right.
And not to be sad or anything like that, but that was my dad's final ride for his procession for his funeral. So it was very important for me to ride that into the wedding. That was him being there, right?
Yeah.
My cousin calls my aunt, who is the owner of the fire truck, and says, it's supposed to rain and I can't do it. And this was what, 3:00, right? 3:00?
Yeah.
No, it's 2. We got married at 4. And I was like, whatever, no big deal. It happens. We'll just take the Durango down and
meanwhile,
shove me out of
I'm
that.
over there and I'm like, what is happening? And Cassie had to tell me one time, like, Molly, chill. Like, I'm the bride.
It's okay, Bridezilla. I'm just kidding. I'm so kidding.
No, it was because I remember walking up the hill and I remember turning around and I was like, are we done yet? And then I was like, and I remember saying, oh wait, I'm not the bride. I'm just kidding.
I know at one point you did turn around and you went,
I did.
What? And I went,
Yes.
And you were like, oh, sorry, this isn't my day.
Yes. And I was like, what do you need? What can I help you with?
I was like, I just needed to know if you had a tissue.
Literally.
But it's cool. We're still friends, obviously. It's all
absolutely.
Good.
Well, and I think that comes with being my friend. You're gonna there's gonna be a second where I'm like, what? And then I realize what I did, and I'm like, I'm just kidding.
And literally
How
it took
you?
she talking to me?
Right.
Who is she talking to like that? And I was just like, oh, okay, whatever.
Right.
But so I got the news that they couldn't do the fire truck, and I was like, whatever, no big deal. Everyone in the family was super, I don't want to say upset, but disappointed, because they knew that meant a lot to me. But I was like, I'm not going to let it bother me.
Right.
It's not worth it. I'm literally marrying the love of my life. This is the person I'm supposed to be with.
Right.
I don't care if I have to walk down the street, whatever. It's my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So 3:00, my cousin calls my aunt and says, have her at our meeting destination by 3:30, because I have the truck and I'm on the way.
Can we talk about how also we were a little bit late because I passed the meeting destination?
Sure did. She drove right past it. Luckily, this town is this big, literally this big. So when she passed it, she saw the truck and was like, "Ah, shit." Literally. So she went to the only other gas station. There's 2, one on each end of the town. That's only this big, mind you, the town.
I know.
So she went down, turned around, busted a U-turn, came back, and we're like, "Hi, where'd you go?"
I know. Well, and I was sitting there because I was the first one, and I was leading the charge, and I thought
that's because I had to get all 800 pounds of my dress in the car.
Well, and I thought I knew where I was going, but at least I was cocky and thought I knew where I was going, and I was like, yeah. I don't need any help. Of course I got this. So I'm driving and I passed. And the truck is literally in the parking lot. And I'm like, no, I'm just gonna go past it. And I'm sitting there and you text me, Molly, where are you? I said, I'm in the parking lot. And you're like, no, you're not.
I'm in the parking lot.
I'm like,
where are you?
Seriously? I'm the one that's holding up a wedding? Come on. I mean, if anybody, it's gonna be me. So
I'm late for absolutely everything. So I'm surprised it wasn't me, honestly.
I'm late for everything. It makes Charlie so angry.
Oh, Reese too. And then I get mad at myself because I'm late and it's my fault. But it takes time to look this dang good. Okay? I'm sorry. Not sorry.
No.
Well, everybody, our first show is coming to an end. I cannot believe we had such an awesome show. Thank you for everybody who watched and commented. I do want to say, Chanel, I hope that I'm saying your name right, and I love that you have a 14-week-old puppy too. They are great, but they are puppy. And they are challenging. And good luck. You'll have to give us updates in future shows on how the little ball of sunshine is doing. Yeah, we are definitely dog and animal people, so definitely keep us posted. But Molly and I talked about how we want to end our show.
Yep.
And we think that this world is so full of negativity and so full of just hate in general, and women get beat down, and we're judged, and just everything negative. Like, it happens. So we want to end the night on a positive note, whether it's something, about each other, about something that you have been trying to do in your own personal life and you're proud of, or just anything positive. So Molly, I'm going to let you go first.
Good.
Sorry that I'm,
No,
putting you on
I'm
the
glad
spot,
because
but
I already know what I'm gonna say. I'm
Okay.
proud, one, that I came on the show, right?
For sure.
I was super nervous. Well, in future episodes, you'll know, or like shows, you'll know that like I have anxiety, depression, all that kind of stuff. So I was really nervous. I'm a very bubbly person. I can talk all day long, especially about myself. So I was really nervous. I was. And I'm proud. I'm proud that I beat my face. I did my hair, and we completed our first show.
I know, right?
I'm really proud of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
And we look amazing.
Fuck yeah, we do.
Oh,
There's that R rating. Fuck
right?
Yeah, we do.
Fuck yes, right. Oh yeah. How many do we get? Like, have I overused it yet?
I don't think so.
Right. It was such a great show, though.
For real.
So good.
Well, I'm going to end on, Molly, I am proud of you. Because we have talked on so many occasions about, oh my gosh, it would be so much fun to have a podcast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, crap, we're actually going to do it.
Yeah.
Are we going to do this? So we did it.
We did.
And, I am so thankful that you decided to come along on this ride with me. It's just like talking on the phone. Really, it is. Except we have comments that I keep getting distracted by and things I have to figure out. But we'll get there, I promise.
It'll get smoother, people, I promise.
Keep right. For a first episode, I don't think it's too bad.
No, oh my gosh, I think it was amazing.
Right. But I am very proud of you for stepping out of your comfort zone and coming along on this journey with me. And I'm going to toot my own horn. I am super proud of myself for putting that foot forward and even making that message, known. I think it would be great to have a woman's perspective show and then everyone go, yeah, when would you like to set it up? Know, if it weren't for, those friends, and I'll say their names now, Amethyst, Jade, they gave a huge push and super, super supportive. And then Ted, again, he said earlier, thank you so much for the kind words, but they're kind, Ted, but they're true.
They're true. Yeah.
And that's the most important part. They are true. I have never met you in person. I've only had the privilege of speaking to you on video chat, and I can tell that you are an awesome person, and I am so thankful we get to work with you every week.
I'm excited.
So on that note, guys, we, spread the love, spread the positivity, and don't be hard on yourself. Stay
a hot mess.
Stay a hot mess.
Stay a hot mess.
Like, girl, it takes a lot to look this good, but when you're yourself and you're your true hot mess self,
listen, embrace it.
Thank you.
It feels so much better.
It seriously is. And it's more fun, honestly.
It's more fun. Come on. Yeah.
I am me.
Absolutely.
And if you don't like me, well, sorry. I'm a hot mess express.
And hear me roar, because I will roar at you.
Right, exactly. All right, everybody. Well, we will see you next Friday at 8 p.m. On Modern Femme-ily. Again, you can find us on all the social media platforms except for TikTok, but we will get one set up there. Our email address, which apparently I forgot to add to our ticker, I will add that for the next show, is modernfemme-ily, no dash, at gmail.com. So please feel free to reach out. We will answer your questions, comments. If you have an idea for the show, please. We take all forms of, criticism, flattery, suggestions, whatever you have, we welcome it. But all right, guys, so there's nothing else left to say. Then thank you for coming with us on this crazy ride, and we will see y'all next week.
See you next week.